I've always hated telling people I'm a widow because I feel like there's such an attachment, or it's like you've just labeled yourself with this type of person or this experience that you've had, and people now need to look at you differently. They need to feel sorry for you or not mention certain things or kind of have a whole different attitude towards you. And I can tell you, as being a widow, when you speak to different people, their reactions are so different because based on who they are, what their experiences, they don't know how to talk, or maybe they do know how to talk about it. So everyone sort of treats you differently. So even though I'm not someone who broadcasts it everywhere I go, it is part of who I am. And we get so many of these moments within our lives that can shape us and change us and move us into these totally new directions that we do at some stage have to acknowledge that experience and not label ourselves with the label, but to just appreciate and know that we are that person, so that you can understand the things that we've been through and how we've done it. And for me, having grief, and this will be the same for anyone who's experienced grief, it's not fun. And of course, there's different levels and layers of it depending on who it is and, you know, a million other different stories. But I think as that is something that is such a big experience and something that was definitely the most life-changing event, it has led me towards the greatest version of me so far. And it's kind of hard sometimes to say that to people or to get people to understand, where if you said to someone, wow, that was so horrible, but it was the greatest thing that happened to me because now I am in this space right now. And that doesn't mean, oh my goodness, I'm so much better now because I don't have my husband anymore. It's the growth and the journey that you go through of being forced into look at yourself is where the growth happens. That is the hardest part, because, you know, if you've ever been in a partnership or been married and you know that, you know, these two people eventually end up becoming one, whether it's the things that they enjoy or the things that you do, not without force. It just happens. These two people become one. So when that one breaks off without warning and with no idea that it was coming, it's like, what do I do now? Who am I? Because you don't know who you are. And if you've spent your life up until that point being with people or being engaged in being a certain label, once you're sort of out of it, you're like, uh-oh, now what? And for me, because I'd only been 9 months into my spiritual journey, and I'm so sick of saying those two words, but being on this path of understanding myself and then getting hit with the grief, it's like a double whammy. It's like, okay, so not only do we have to deal with becoming a person on our own, finding out who we are, what we like, what we're going to do in the future, how we're going to live in this life, coupled with, oh, okay, so you're telling me all this stuff about the universe and energies and God and all these magical things as well, and you want me to do all these things at the same time? That's what I did. And I can tell you that, you know, not every moment was wonderful. Grief on its own can be pretty uncomfortable, but grief right next to healing, it's like, okay, I'm already down here. I'm already crying. I'm already feeling like shit. Just bring it all in. Oh, I can do it all at once. So that's what I did. The thing is, though, is to know that there's the other side of it, to step into, and I don't care what people believe in. I used to be over in the light, over in the dark, over in the science, religion, whatever. I don't even care what people believe in anymore, because I know that there is a truth for all people in whatever they believe. But when you go through both of them, and you allow yourself to understand that you are more than just this physical being. And I don't care who you are, and if you're still watching this video, you know what I mean. On some level, you know you are not just this. There is so much more, and it's just going to depend on your beliefs and where you're holding your thinking right now of what you think is true. But I know for me, I know that I am not this physical being. So once you can understand that, and then you start choosing to make that choice to not always be in the sadness or the healing or the pain or any of those sort of lower vibration states, and understand that the whole goal and the whole point, and it doesn't even matter what you believe in, it's so that we all feel good. It's so that we all have joy and love and experience this enlightenment within us in whatever environment we're faced in. And for me, that was, I can tell you, like, on paper, you could look at my life and go, oh my God, that's so shit. Like, you should be sad and depressed. But I can tell you, I'm probably happier than 99% of the people out there. And that's not me forcing shit down and ignoring things and not accepting circumstances or things that happen or are happening around me. It's because I have always chosen to try and get to that high vibe state. We hear it all the time about increasing the vibration and being in love and being in joy and being in this space where we can have love for everything and everyone around us and be connected to it all. And you may not believe all of that, but there is something powerful when you keep choosing that, no matter what is happening. When you can use whatever modality or whatever belief or whatever story you hold to help you get to that state. And I know even in those moments with those doubts and with those, I don't believe that kind of conversations, you are still choosing, yes, but I do know that. Because that logical part, especially for me, my logical part of my brain struggles with so much. But then the upside to that is my creativity and the depth of my spirituality is so big and out there that most of the time I hardly even talk about it, because that logic is still telling you, ooh, you're sounding cray. And so you don't share it and you don't put it out there with people. But I know that right now it's very important for, well, not just me, for everyone to really share the things that they want to share and the way that they want to share, so that other people can connect with them, that other people can find and resonate with the individual vibrational frequency that we're all putting out in each moment. Because as someone, as crazy as it can sound to the logical side of my brain, that is how I literally see everything in my mind, is through codes and threads and colors and literally numbers and shapes and symbols. And it all just makes this chaotic, beautiful symphony inside my head. And so being able to see it like that, and being able to see the way that it works and the way that it intertwines with the everything of everything, regardless of what you believe in, it's the same as when we're talking to people, when we're connecting with people. And the more you learn about energy and the way that we connect to things, to people, to experiences, and how we bring things to us, you really get to understand and see how you can start controlling that, how you can start bringing it all together, how you can keep choosing that love and joy feeling. Because the one thing, no matter what modality, belief, story, experience you have, once you bring it all back to that heart and through that frequency of love, it all makes sense. It literally makes the rest of the stuff fall away. And the only way that we can get to that state is by starting with that. It's literally like a full circle.